This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And a good Wednesday afternoon. Happy Halloween from Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Our program being brought to you by Taco John. So, really, it's Halloween. Do you really want to cook dinner with all the kiddos coming to the door tonight? Grab a six-pack at a pound from Taco John's of Cheyenne. Oh, yeah, they have loaded potato olays. Don't forget their 3 for $5 walking tacos every Tuesday. Oh, by the way, is Taco Tuesday. But tonight, six-pack and a pound night. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. Having a hail of a sale, yeah, from this past summer. They got bonked a little bit, but you know what? If you're a fan of Jayco products, you know what? You're going to find some super deals right now. RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers, all for your inspection today. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. And again, delicious chicken sandwiches, waffle fries. You might want to top that off with a lemon frosty. All kinds of good stuff over at Ray and Cindy's place, including breakfast. Monday through Saturday, check out what Chick-fil-A has for you over at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, right across from Menards. Key of Cheyenne, they have a lot for you to check out. The 18s must go. When they must go, that means prices that you're going, wow, okay, just short of giving them away. So check out everything they have for you over at Key of Cheyenne because the 19s are arriving. Maybe you want to get in on the 19 model year. That's your choice. See my good friends AJ and Greg Miller and the crew today over at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations for you. Matter of fact, was just over at Platte Valley Bank on Vanda High. Couldn't see my buddy Rick. He was in a high-level meeting, but that's okay. Went over there and talked to the fine staff, and again, they're wonderful folks over at Platte Valley Bank. 2 locations, Vanda High, and of course over at the corner of College and Pershing. Customer service always priority number 1 with Platte Valley Bank. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. See my good friend Gene and the wonderful staff over at Platte Valley Bank, at Medicap Pharmacy, over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. I can't do 2 things at once. We have Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Auto Glass and Detail Center can be found over on Pershing Boulevard. The Auto Body Shop on Dunn Avenue, where, again, they have a plethora of bays to get the work done and done right. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Again, talk with the folks over there about their special CD rates with great annual percentage yields going on right now. Open Monday through Friday. Mondello's Pizzeria across the way, open 7 days a week for delicious Paisan cuisine, always freshly made and in true Italian fashion over at Mondello's Pizzeria. So, again, if you haven't had that experience ever, you need to go over to 1508 Stillwater Avenue. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Get the heating units checked out, and they will do a great job, as always, over at Mars Plumbing and Heating. And we get our program underway with our scoreboard, which is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
I know the perfect Halloween costume for you. It would be someone who actually doesn't trip up on...
Don't go there, pal, because you can't speak English.
I can as well, too.
A second language.
Yeah, please. Anyways, though, LCCC women's volleyball in action coming up tonight. Starting at least tentative schedule around 7 o'clock, it will be LCCC taking on Casper over at Story Gym. It is the Region 9 volleyball tournament happening here in Cheyenne. So, again, go cheer on the Golden Eagles as they're in action coming up tonight. Tentative schedule around 7 o'clock. We will talk with head coach Austin Albers here in a few short minutes. NHL action for tonight as well. It's a light one. It's only one game. It will be seen on NHL Network at 8 o'clock. You will see the Chicago Blackhawks travel to Vancouver to take on the Canucks at Rogers Arena. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight.
On the NBA scoreboard, it will be the Nuggets taking on the Bulls tonight in the United Center. Elsewhere, the Pistons and the Nets hooking up at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Pacers and the Knicks in Madison Square Garden in the Mecca. It will be the Jazz and the Timberwolves at the Target Center. Pelicans and the Warriors tonight in the Oracle Arena as New Orleans will pay a visit to Golden State. It's the Mavericks and the Lakers tonight at Staples, and the Spurs and the Suns will hook up at the Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Boys, this halftime score is not indicative of our talent level. We're a lot closer than I thought we'd be, and old Coach has just the thing to get us over the hump. Street tacos from Taco John's. You can get them with chicken, or new sirloin steak, or pork carnitas. That's a triple option of awesomeness. Let's go get some.
Get 3 street tacos for just $5 at Taco John's.
Hustle up, boys. If we leave now, we can be back for the fourth quarter.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
John Barrasso, fighting for all of Wyoming.
Wyoming is a land of spectacular beauty and great history. Teddy Roosevelt praised Wyoming's cowboy cavalry that helped form his Rough Riders. That cowboy courage and determination lives on today in our people.
John Barrasso is working to unleash Wyoming's potential, fighting to end the war on Wyoming's energy economy, honor and serve Wyoming veterans, confirm common-sense judges who understand the Constitution, protect our farmers and ranchers from costly Washington rules and mandates. And John fought for and won tax cuts that help hardworking Wyoming families and businesses.
As a doctor, I help people get healthy again. Now as a senator, I fight to protect our state and make our country stronger. I'm John Barrasso. I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote to keep fighting for you and Wyoming's families.
Paid for by friends of John Barrasso. BarrassoForWyoming.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 44. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 28 and winds out of the southwest at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 31.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
And welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Peroletti along with Nick Peroletti and Austin Albers, head coach of the Laramie County Community College ladies volleyball squad. Coach, you know, we're getting ready for tournament play. And
it's happening here, at least at the time of this, about
right.
3 or so hours against 7 o'clock at Story Gym.
Well, the thing is with your squad, though, you have to be happy heading into tournament play. Right now, playing at a top level, what you expected out of your team.
Yeah, you know, our gals have gotten hot at the right time. We've figured some things out with personnel, and once we do that, we're able to build chemistry within that unit. And so we've been playing well as of late. Of course, the tournament's a different animal. Everybody's on their A game, and we're going to have to do the same and make sure that we look sharp tonight against a Casper team that's really solid and has the pieces to beat anybody. So we're going to have to really buckle down and be ready to go.
You know, we've heard it from you, and we've heard it from Clark here recently about the tournament being held at Story Gym and not at your home court on the LCCC campus. We're talking 2 inches, and that makes all the difference in the world. But again, you're playing on a neutral site. Does that kind of take away a little bit from that home court advantage, or just playing in Cheyenne is good enough?
It does take away. Certainly with facilities, being able to be in a facility that spatially you're just very used to is a big advantage of playing at home. So we lose the facility advantage. And then it's to be decided on what kind of fan turnout we have for tonight. If people show out and come out and support the team and get rowdy and can create that home court atmosphere, that's the half that we can really ride, and that can help propel us to what we're trying to accomplish this weekend.
Coach, did you do any practicing at Story Gym prior to the tournament? And again, just to get a feel of that gymnasium?
We've had some times throughout the regular season where we've been able to get down here, when we were prepping for some of our away conference games and things. So not a lot of time, but at least a little bit to familiarize ourselves with it. But again, for the most part, we're up at our campus and doing that. So we haven't really had a ton of time on the court down here, just a few times throughout the season when we were able to run over. But it's a great space. It's got lines and 2 poles and a net, just like every place that we play. So we've got to go out and just make sure we're taking care of business, worrying about the play on our side of the net rather than the venue.
Absolutely. Again, worried about the play coming up again tonight at 7 o'clock at Story Gym, as you will face against Casper College, as they already competed earlier this morning, taking on Lamar in the at least kind of intro to at least the 18 bracket. But I'm assuming had a little time to scout this Casper team, along with also your student athletes. But what can you tell us what to expect out of this Casper College team?
Well, they're big. They block the ball extremely well. I think they're second in blocks behind us in the conference, so they're really solid on the net. They have 2 really dynamic middles that really get their offense going. And so, for us, we've got to be aggressive from the serve line and try to eliminate those 2 from as much as possible by breaking down the serve receive. But they're well coached. They're well organized. We've seen them twice this year. And, personnel-wise and in terms of system things, it doesn't look like they've changed a whole lot. So, it's certainly a team that we're familiar with. But they're solid, and they're going to challenge us, and now they have a little bit of momentum on their side going into tonight. So we're going to have to be solid and sharp from the get-go, and just make sure we're taking care of business and handling things on our side of the net. I think we've got good talent. We've got people in the right places. It's just a matter of making sure that we play start to finish tonight and try to take care of things here in the late match this evening.
Austin Albers, head coach of the LCCC ladies volleyball team. Coach, let's talk about the 2 different champions that we can have. And again, your tournament is structured not like high school, but you do have, if you lose, you can come through and play some extra matches. But you have Region 9 champions, District C, if you run the table in your winner's bracket, and then on the loser's bracket side, you could become Region 9 champions, District D. Explain that to us common folks that don't understand how these brackets break down.
Gotcha. So Region 9 has always had 2 bids to the national tournament, so you get to send 2 teams. In the past years, it's been divided up north and south. Whoever wins the north tournament gets to go, and whoever wins the south tournament gets to go. This year it's a little bit different in combining the tournament. We still get to send 2 teams, and so we had to restructure our tournament format to make sure that we had 2 champions. You're going to have the team that wins outright will be designated District C, and they'll get a bid to the national tournament. And then the team that finishes second or wins the loser's bracket or comes back through and finishes with only 1 loss, that team will also get to go to the national tournament. So we're sending the same amount of teams. It's just a different way of restructuring it to make sure that we're sending the best 2 teams rather than just 1 from each side.
You look at the bracket, and again, with the 8 teams in there, of course, you are the number 1 seed out of the north. The south is Western Nebraska Community College. Again, you would stamp both U and WNCC as the top 2 teams to beat. But looking at these 8 teams that are in there, if you were in Vegas right now, who's your dark horse team to watch out for?
The South's really solid. Otero's a very good team. NJC's a very good team. And McCook, when they're healthy, they've gotten bit with some injuries early this morning already. That may cause them to struggle a little bit, but there are some really solid teams on that south side. We've seen everybody at least once, and Otero's just their system and the way that they play really clean and collected. I give them a shot. I think that they're solid enough with the way that they play the game that they could make a run at it. And then NJC on the south, they're the 2 seed, so I don't know how much of a dark horse they are, but they've got a ton of talent. Arguably the best setter in the region and one of the top setters in the country that I've seen. But they've got weapons around her too, and so they're a team that if they get clicking, they can be really scary because they've got a lot of talent and a lot of people that can score the ball.
Size up the Lady Thunderbirds. Again, you've seen these teams, and tell us a little bit what you can expect.
Like I said, they're solid. They're going to defend well and be big on the net. Our hitters are going to have to really do a good job of seeing seams and holes and making sure that we are being deliberate with our swings, because if not, that's coming right back down at you. They've got good sophomore leadership, and they've been in these situations before. The big thing with us is we're going to have to control the tempo of the play and really work to try to win the first contact battle with serve and serve receive. If we can do that, we'll give ourselves a good chance. But it's a T-Bird squad that's always one of the top in the conference. This year was a little bit of an anomaly just from their seeding standpoint, but don't let their seed fool you. They've got what it takes to beat teams, and they showed that this morning. So we're going to have to have our head on straight and be ready to go.
Now, Coach, I have to ask you this, or at least get the Blue Cross Blue Shield report for your team. But how are your student athletes heading into this contest coming up tonight?
We don't have anything major. We've got some tired shoulders, we've got some tired knees, but so does everybody else. It's almost November. So from that standpoint, I take it over some of the other teams that have some really serious injuries and have players that they have to sit. We're going to have everybody suited and available, and so that helps us a lot too. Just going into the tournament, so many things can change if somebody goes down, and so for us to have a pretty clean bill of health is really nice right now.
Coach, you look at the surfaces at both Story Gym as well as LCCC. There is a marked difference, and you were talking about like sore knees. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a little bit harder at Story Gym. You've got to put a little more wear and tear on those knees.
Yeah, floor seems just a little bit firmer, a little bit less bounce in it. So we'll see how people hold up over the course of the week. If you play well, it's only 3 games, which isn't a ton of volleyball. But it'll be interesting to see how some of these teams that played in with those play-in matches this morning, the teams that are sticking around late Saturday, if they were some of those teams in these play-in matches, how they're holding up and keeping everybody, if they can keep everybody out there, just because it is a lot of volleyball in a short amount of time.
Coach, again, with your veterans along with your freshmen on the squad right now, and again, postseason, even in the high school ranks, is nothing new to a lot of these young ladies, but how do you keep them focused on the task at hand, play them one at a time?
Well, the big thing is just, honestly, we have enough leaders that have been here before and had success in the tournament format before, that I trust their ability to stay focused and for us to have the culture that we need to in order to make a nice tournament run, which is, keeping a level head, worrying about our side of the net rather than theirs, and making sure that we're carrying ourselves in a professional manner with our preparation and our scouting, and making sure that we are not being out-coached, out-prepared, or outplayed by anybody. Those are the big things. The talent level, once the tournament dwindles down and the talent level the difference in talent starts to become smaller and smaller, and that's where you have to have those little things and look for those small advantages in how you prepare, and just how you come into the game mentally, and just all around how you're ready to come out and make sure that you're putting your best effort forward and making sure that your team is at least as well oiled as it possibly can be going into those tight battles.
7 o'clock. Be there. Aloha tonight over at Story Gymnasium.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to ask Coach as well, too, for folks who might be tuning in or at least watching that for the first time, this LCCC squad. Who are some folks on that team that folks here in the city of Cheyenne should keep an eye out playing tonight?
We've got all sorts of talent on our roster,
including the coach.
Some days, some days. But we've got some great players. Avery Nelson is our offensive leader in terms of statistics and those kinds of things. She's been a dynamic force for us all season, so she's one that's extremely fun to watch. She's a player that, next year we're all going to be sitting around watching on television. So come and get a glimpse of her in person in Cheyenne while you can. Jazzy Espinoza, one of our stellar freshmen, has been doing a great job in the middle for us this year. And then Kylie Martin is another one of our leaders. She was an all-region, all-tournament, and all-conference player as a freshman, and she's having another great season, and she's going to be one that helps lead this team throughout the tournament.
All righty, Coach. Well, we wish you all the best. And again, you're tentatively scheduled for 7 o'clock. Usually the tournaments run on time. So, again, we would hope a good Cheyenne contingent, LCCC contingent, will head on over to Story Gym. What's the cost to watch you win tonight?
If you've got LCCC ID, you can get yourself in for free. And so we hope that our people and supporters from the college will come out. If you don't, it is student passes for high school kids. Anybody else wants to come out, make sure you have your ID. I believe those are $5. And then for a day pass is $15 for a one-day pass. It's $40 for the whole tournament.
All righty, Coach. Good luck to you and the Lady Golden Eagles, and thank you so much for joining us today on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Austin Albers, who is the head coach of the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles volleyball squad, as they are the number 1 seed out of the North End, matching up with the Lady Thunderbirds of Casper. 7 p.m. tonight, Story Gym. Yes, you haven't got any plans for Wednesday, head on over and watch some fantastic volleyball action. We're back after these words right here on 1480 KRAE. Variety of travel trailers, including toy haulers. Get up to an additional 50% off MSRP on Jolly Roger's already low prices. Check out their new and used inventory. Damaged or not, you can still travel in style. Call Jolly Roger's RV Sales and Service today, your exclusive Jayco dealer, at 634-8457. See them at 6102 U.S. Highway 30 or go to jollyrogersrv.com. Family owned and operated, Terrell Honda reminds you that the 2018's gotta go now. They're stacked deep so they can be sold cheap. Whether you buy or lease, this is the perfect time of year to shop for the best selection of 2018 Honda Civics, Accords, HRVs, and CRVs before the 2019s hit the showroom floor. So take a test drive today at Terrell Honda, where you'll love their brand of dealing. 1919 Westland Road, Motor City, Cheyenne. And check them out online at terrellhonda.com.
Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, but not necessarily in that order. You decide where you're going and how you'll get there. An unwritten experience awaits. Be bold, be prepared, be inspired. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Visit lccc.wi.edu to start your story today.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480, KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, Pro Man, Junior Pro Man. Glad that you can be with us. Thank you again to Austin Albers, the head volleyball coach over at L Trip, as his Lady Golden Eagles will be heading to the floor over at Story Gym, forthcoming around 7 o'clock. So we're about, 3.5 hours away.
Again, home, at least a home tournament for LCCC, but not really necessarily home. It's a neutral site, so we'll see how that kind of plays out tonight. But again, at least encouraging all folks to make it feel like it is the rack there at LCCC tonight. Again, as it will be LCCC taking on Casper College, the Thunderbirds, 7 o'clock there at Story Gym. LCCC students, or at least if you have an ID, again, entrance is free. High school students, or at least anyone across, at least a student across the city of Cheyenne, if you show your ID, $5. Well, he kind of specified, he alluded to something else, but again, $5, and then day passes, $15. The entire tournament, which is 3 days, is $40. So again, they will have at least contests today, wrapping up at 7 o'clock. Thursday will be 4 contests. Friday with 3. Saturday with 2. Again, Saturday being the 2 deciding championship game. So again, a lot of action happening over at Story Gym. Again, volleyball tournament, Region 9, seeing schools from all across the region. Again, number 1 seed out of the southwestern Nebraska. Also number 2 seed out of the north is Northwest College. Number 2 seed out of the south is NJC. And as we mentioned, again, that number 1 seed out of the north will be LCCC. So best of luck to the Lady Golden Eagles, and encourage all folks to head on over to Story Gym tonight.
We have more to talk about here on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We have the Cheyenne Stampede Coaches Show, 4:30, as we'll have.
But I wanted to talk about LCCC. In addition to having Coach Albers on today, tomorrow we will have Brian Ortmeyer and Jason Ficca. We get to talk hoops with our initial Coaches Show, which is going to be moved to Thursdays this year.
Yeah, at least didn't want to coincide, obviously, with Stampede on Wednesdays, but also, too, a lot of Wednesday contests in the regular season for both men and women. So we just made it easier to do it on a Thursday. So, again, yes, the LCCC Coaches Show coming back exclusively here on 1480 KRAE, where, again, Coach Brian Ortmeyer, head coach of the women's side. Jason Ficca, head coach of the men's side, will join us. Women up first, they will be from 4 to 4:30. Usually it is coach along with the player, but for this week we had a lot to talk with, at least with Brian Ortmeyer and Ficca, so we will have them in for a half an hour. Men will come up after, at least the women are done, 4:30 to 5, so that's the schedule. And again, it will be tentative Thursdays from here on out. There is one Thursday contest during the regular season, only one, so we might have to alter it. So just kind of stay tuned on the social media sides, or at least here on 1480 KRAE, and we'll give you those updates. So we're in the thick of it, though. 2 Coaches Show here on KRAE, at least with hockey and now basketball.
Right, all on the local side, too. So appreciate both coaches from LCCC as well as Coach Breen coming in here.
You don't hear anyone else in town doing a Coaches Show for the local squads. We are, though.
There you go.
I like it.
That's the way to.
I'm just saying.
That's the way to stick in their ear. Good for you.
No one else is doing it though. Why? They could care less.
I care. I really do. I care what the other guys are doing right now. Don't bother me a bit.
Well, I don't care either. I'm just saying, hey, step up your game. We're over here. We're the true local station. Taking care of our local teams.
Yeah. But do people even care anymore, Nick? That's the question.
I'd hope so.
I don't know. Radio to me has changed so much. It's still, as far as I'm concerned, still one of the best mediums around. But people are just kind of they got too technical. They got too apathetic. They don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to go to the phone. I don't want to call anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So what? We got the Stampede show. So what? We got it's even high school.
I don't think our fans are like that though.
I would hope our fans aren't. I know that you've got the ticket giveaway out there
for the Cowboys.
And that's drawn a lot of interest, right?
Oh, yeah, a lot of people still interested to go see the Cowboys. It is obviously free tickets, but yes, at least a lot of folks.
There's just a lot of apathy out there right now, and I don't understand why.
Maybe it's this town. I don't know.
It's what? Sometimes you look at this town and you say, wow, we have all these great sports goodies for you, especially on the high school side and with LCCC. And then you can't even draw flies sometime to some of these events. I would hope out at the LCCC situation tonight over at Story Gym that, the contingent from LCCC will show up, and hopefully some Cheyenne fans will come out and watch some very good volleyball action.
This is a ranked team, a number 1 seed out of the North. They are defending Region 9 champions, a team that made it to, I do believe, about third round last year of the at least national tournament. So, again, it is quality play right now by at least LCCC, and again looking to defend their championship from last year. Again, also too with LCCC, and Coach Austin Albers didn't mention it, we do have a local product as well too from Cheyenne East, Jazzy Espinoza. Again, there's at least one local person, name that folks should recognize.
6'2"
but also too,
Jazzy Espinosa Cheyenne East product.
Yeah,
who has been just phenomenal for LCCC.
Yeah, and there's other pieces on that team, again, as you mentioned as well, too, with Avery Nelson, at least someone who has been touted to continue volleyball in the higher ranks, whether it is in Division I, but a lot of talent on this team. So, yes, go and support this team, because this squad, at least this kind of special team that Coach Austin Albers has been developing for the past, at least this year or last year, is not going to be there, because a lot of them are going to be graduating after this is all said and done. So enjoy it now while it lasts.
Yeah, you only get 2 years to watch them over at LCCC.
Yeah.
And in some cases, like we saw basketball with Zaire. Zaire Martin, 1 season. And the big boys are scooping him up.
Yeah.
That's what I like. And again, I'm not going to dismiss what we have here as far as high school coaches. But the quality of coaching that you have over at LCCC sometimes just goes unappreciated.
Yeah. I think so.
Brian Dortmeyer, who we know is in his 3rd season, reviving a women's program
that was dormant for 25 years.
And look what he did last year in its 2nd season. I mean, they were 500 team.
Above 500, I think they finished but yeah.
And then you look at Jason.
Which is not bad, again, for teams that are just getting, or at least getting underway, trying to revive the program, where it takes...
They didn't go 0-30. They were winning.
Well, I'm just saying, look at what Cheyenne South, again, to kind of keep it on the local side. What has South kind of done on their programs? They've had to build year. But no, at least with Brian Ortmeyer, he's got the connections. He's got the tools. He is a very excellent coach. And he's turned this program into... It's viable. It's not an awful product out there.
Teams are definitely keeping an eye on what's going on here.
And I think they should this season.
You got Jason Ficka, who's, I think it's his 11th season now?
Something like that. He's been around forever.
But the thing is, he sometimes, you don't want to say rebuild, he just reloads.
Oh, yeah. Year in and year out. And again,
and they're fun to watch. They're a fun bunch to watch, whether they win or lose.
We're going to, go back to last season, what we had with Landon Talafero, the guy shooting nonstop threes.
Landon?
Leading the nation.
Oliver.
He led the nation. And that's just not just here in the Rocky Mountain area. That was leading teams from the East Coast, the West Coast, all up and down this contingent 48 states. It was
contiguous, not
whatever.
Contingent.
Anyways, who cares about the verbiage? Anyways,
I do, because you'll probably have an English teacher correct you online.
Yeah, like they know sports. Anyways,
like you know English.
Yeah, that wasn't my subject.
Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry,
but I'm just saying though, we had phenomenal athletes that are moved on again with. Like you said, Zaire, he's playing with Northern Illinois. We have with Landon Talafero, he's out in Fairfield University. I mean,
Elijah went down to Pueblo.
He went to Pueblo. I think Solomon, he was up at Maine University, which they will at least Maine, ironically, will be coming out to take on the Denver Pioneers here sometime at least in November. So go,
Solomon Eliamade, yeah.
Looking forward to him coming back to the Rocky Mountain region. But no, I mean, again, for both teams, it's going to be exciting years, and looking forward to talking to both Brian and Jason tomorrow on the show. Again, 4 to 5 p.m. With the LCCC Coaches Show. These are two teams that can be a run and gun. It could be you can have a men's equivalent and a women's equivalent to what we're seeing right now in the NBA of the Golden State Warriors, where it's at fast pace. They love to shoot the three, and they're going to put on a little stingy defense as well too.
And let's not forget about our soccer programs under Coach Gardner and Coach.
He's
Gibson.
Been successful. This was just the oddball year. The 1 year that they did not make it back to the national tournament, as they were upset in the championship game last weekend down in Denver at Metro State. But No, I mean, the women, they've been a very successful outfit for quite some time under Coach Jim Gardner. Same with the men under Vince. They had a little down year, at least for the past couple seasons. They've been a little under of what they want to be, but at least for this season, however, for the men this past weekend, they did win their championship game, and they are Region 9 champions. Now for the men, a little muddy, at least, of how to get to that national tournament. You have to get through districts, and then you make it to that national tournament. So coming up this Friday, they will be down in Tucson, Arizona, competing in district, at least tournament action. So, but yes, again, we have one team that's already won the Region 9. LCCC Volleyball can absolutely win this tournament coming up. Again, here in Cheyenne, don't have to make the travel like every other team here in Region 9. So they have that option. They've won it last year. They can do it again. And we'll see what happens with men's and women's basketball coming up. Again, we have a lot of successful programs, at least happening over at LCCC.
You know, it'd be nice to go out there and support them, in addition to supporting all three of our high schools from time to time as well.
Yeah.
We got tickets to give away from the Fish Bowl of Awesomeness coming up here. Cowboys and San Jose State. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. Matter of fact, we'll do that after the break. How does that sound? I wanted to mention yesterday, and we didn't get a chance because we were going so fast and we had the two press conferences. But the college football playoff rankings are out.
Whatever. Alabama's probably number one.
Well, let me ask you this question, and again to the audience out there, and really I would be apathetic. Like, who cares? But what happens if it's Alabama and Clemson again?
Yeah.
Are you a little tired of that?
Yeah, it kind of gets a little boring after a while. But I mean,
but they're both good.
No, I get it. It's kind of like what we went through with Golden State and Cleveland. Hey, I'm a fan of at least one team. I'm loving what's happening in the NBA ranks, at least with the Golden State Warriors. But I mean, on the outside, I get of where people have that apathy of you're tired. You want to see new blood competing for a championship. I go off of the old, at least Klay Thompson, of what he said last year of saying, hey, if you're tired of seeing the same old thing, the rest of the leagues, rest of the teams, and that includes now with college football, hey, get better.
Well, that's true to a certain degree. On the pro side, you could do that.
Yeah.
Because you got money to flash around. Here, I don't know what they do at Alabama, nor do I want to know. But
there has been no FBI investigation.
Let's put it this way, though. But Alabama gets a top-tier athlete.
And they do every
Michigan, Notre Dame gets top-tier athletes.
Yeah.
We'll even go down as far as Texas gets top-tier athletes, as opposed to Wyoming.
I think the only team that...
And again, I'm not saying our athletes are bad. Don't take that wrong.
I'm just saying the only team you could probably take that out of that conversation of where they kind of pulled... And not knowing about those early Boise State teams, but again, where they were competing in the Fiesta Bowl, going undefeated, being at least flirting around of could they compete for a national championship, those Boise State teams weren't really gathering those five-star recruits, four-star recruits. It was a team that kind of built under at least tutelage there at Boise State and developed into something very excellent. Now, Wyoming...
The belief was that Boise State on any given Saturday could win.
Boise State came out of, at least from the WAC, times where it was a team of, okay, who are they? We don't know anything about this Broncos team. And they basically tore through the WAC, as much as the WAC was completely garbage back in the day, but they took advantage, and they won. Moving into the Mountain West, they've kind of continued to win. But I feel like they're not gathering a lot of that top, at least 5-star, 4-star recruits that Michigan is, but they're still surviving. They still have sustainability. They are consistent year in and year out. So I think for instance, for a Wyoming Cowboys team, you don't need to go after a 5-star. Sure, you would love to, but this is also to a school that is not in a Power 5 conference. You got to realize that. You're going to have to sit back and wait for all those teams, all those schools to pull in those talent. And that's kind of, that's the bad news about how college football, or at least recruiting, works, whether it is football, basketball, whatever sport. Hey, that's how you got to deal with it. But, I mean, there's no excuse, though, that Wyoming couldn't keep consistency. Keep that consistency theme. Like, for instance, a Boise State. Why do they keep consistent? Yet, however, the Wyoming Cowboys, we have two seasons there where, again, one developed at least to a bowl loss. It was also to
they
a
were
mountain.
8-6.
at least they won. They were better than 500, especially under the 3 other seasons under Craig Bowl that were just. Then again, the guy is sub 500.
Then they go 8-5. Yeah, he's still sub 500, even beating.
But I'm just saying, Boise State can keep consistent. Why? How is it that Wyoming can't keep that consistency?
I don't know. And we have in Laramie. Is
it telling me that Josh Allen was that much of a talent, that much of a tool, that special of a player? And I think he was. I think he really was to do what he did. But is it something that, now we lost him, now the program has to rebuild and renew, especially where
you would think with all the times that we're on ESPN2, we got a lot of television. Whether we're on
CBS Sports Network, ESPN, wherever.
I mean, the Cowboys program is always featured nationally.
And hell, even with Josh Allen, he was that brand spokesman for the university of saying, hey, I am a Cowboy. I went to Wyoming. Here it is in Laramie, Wyoming. He mentioned all these buzzwords throughout those, at least, again, whether it was draft day, as a Buffalo Bill now, whether it was the Combine. He's got that name, that University of Wyoming. It's been out there.
Right, but let's go. I think you made a very good point, though, talking about recruiting. First off, in Wyoming, okay, and again, this is no diss on our athletes in Wyoming, but how many D1s do you think we have in Wyoming that we can go after? A handful, maybe?
I would say you probably count them on both hands.
All right. So, and again, what's to say they want to go to Wyoming?
That's true.
What if Nebraska's on them?
Well,
or Utah.
Tevis Bartlett, who goes to the University of Washington.
Right. So, again, you sit here, and again, I'm looking here at the playoff rankings, all right? And you look about where some of these teams draw from. You look at Alabama.
They pull from wherever.
They can stay in home if they want and probably draw a 5-star athlete. Yeah. Clemson.
South Carolina, I mean, they can pull wherever.
Notre Dame draws from all over
absolutely
the country. Michigan. Harbaugh could do it right there in his own home state.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of
But Harbaugh has a big enough name as well, too, especially with those years at the 49ers. Again, his name is very notable, and that's going to draw in, again, from all over.
What about Oklahoma? Draw from the South.
Oh, yeah.
They can draw from Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas. So, and then you look at teams like Georgia with their reputation. So, again, Wyoming is behind the 8 ball right away. Because, just mentioning Georgia, for example, Georgia's got probably about 50 recruits they can go after.
Yeah.
In their state. And when we said in Wyoming, and again, no disrespect to our student athletes here, but maybe D1 prospects, as Nick said, maybe about 10, if that.
Yeah.
In a state of 535,000 people. Okay? There's some towns that are 535,000 people that are listed here. Salt Lake City, Utah, the Utes. They're battling with BYU to a certain degree.
And Utah State, yeah.
And Utah State, so again, but there's more population. That's why Wyoming has to go all over the country.
Well, that's why we're seeing, again, heavy recruiting out of California.
And again, by the time you get to California, you got Stanford, Cal. Again, I'm just using Pac-12 here.
SC,
UCLA. Again, these are places you'd want to go and look at first.
Oh, yeah.
And then you would look at the second tier of the Pac-12, Arizona State, Washington State.
I'm just saying, you could even stick in the state of California of just at least not even Pac-12 teams where it is, hey, let's go look at, for instance, San Jose State if you really wanted to. If you want to stay
then you got all the state ones there. Hayward State, Sacramento State, Davis, Chico State. I mean, I could pull out.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying there's so many schools, and they offer at least multiple, athletic programs where, hey, maybe I don't want to travel out to Wyoming. Instead, I'll just stick in state where I'm happy and I'm close to family, and it's a lot better weather than what I would experience here, at least over in Laramie.
Wyoming has to try to sell, first off, the tri-state region, Colorado, Nebraska.
Yeah.
And if you can, Utah, you try to sneak into there to grab some. Then you go a little further west, Nevada, as well as, and again, Nevada has
UNLV,
Nevada, Reno. So, I mean, Wyoming Cowboys, this goes back to that top 50 schools. This is why Wyoming's not going to be one of those top 50 schools.
No.
We're going to be on the other side of the bracket.
But, I mean, what is the point of all this? Is this something that we can just stamp and say that Wyoming will never be a Power 5 school?
Absolutely.
It will never be at least a team that competes for a national championship, that we have to come back to reality on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's
Fresno
fair.
State sneaks into the coaches poll here. They're ranked 23rd. They're 7-1. How high do you think they're going to end up? Let's say they run the table. How high do you think Fresno State's going to go? Maybe to 20?
15.
Maybe to 20.
Nah, I think you'll have a lot of altering where they'll probably be 15 or
all right, you look at an LSU. If they lose a game, they're not going to drop from 3 all the way down to 23.
No.
They're going to drop into the teens. It's just one of these deals where the Mountain West, including Wyoming, is not going to get the love.
Then what is the solution then? I mean, what does Wyoming need to do in order to gain?
I don't know about Wyoming. I'm just going to talk about the Mountain West Conference.
Okay,
and I don't know the playoff.
And again, the conference gets respect, whether it is from Boise State
or the playoffs are not geared to even include Wyoming or the Mountain West. The playoffs are geared for the SEC.
Well, yeah,
Pac-12.
Yeah,
Big 12. And what else could we say here?
Big 12, Pac-12, all that fun stuff. But I'm just saying it is. I think for the Mountain West, and it's more so of what we're seeing of these teams trying to go out and compete against SEC foes, or again with CSU going down to Alabama, CSU going down to Florida, challenging them. Wyoming taking on Missouri as out of the SEC, taking on Washington State of the Pac-12. You gotta make some sort of establishment, or at least put your statement there of saying, hey, yeah, we can compete. Look at us. We're a mid-tier Mountain West team, and we defeated a Pac-12 team. We're a mid-tier team. We defeated an SEC team. I think
you got to beat them.
Yeah, that's the key thing.
You got to beat them. And again, you got Big 12, Big 10, Pac-12.
It doesn't help you when you have
the SEC.
Florida just trounce over the CSU Rams and just kind of put a basically dark mark on the Mountain West, going, wow. That's what the Mountain West has as competition. Yeah, Boise State, you beat them, but who cares? That team was complete garbage. Oh, well, Missouri, you beat Wyoming. It's just something that the Mountain West, at least those teams, they have to start establishing themselves of, yeah, they can beat at least Power 5 schools. And it's not showing anytime soon. Again, even Boise State struggled this year where they faltered against at least Oklahoma State. Utah State losing at least in a very close effort to Michigan State. You still need to beat these teams.
Let me read the top 10 to you. This is the college football playoff rankings, okay? And the top 4 will be playing.
All right.
So you got Alabama number 1, Clemson number 2, LSU number 3. Wonder where they're all from. Notre Dame.
Well, Clemson's ACC.
Yeah, but Notre Dame.
Independent.
You got Michigan. Big 12.
Actually, Big 10.
Big 10.
There you go.
Georgia.
SEC.
Oklahoma.
Big 12.
Big 12. Washington State, Pac-12.
Hey, talk about that Cougars team that everyone wanted to diss me on. Not thinking they were that good.
Kentucky.
SEC. How Kentucky's up there.
Ohio State, Big 10.
Yeah.
So, again, then you look at the next tier, which is Florida. Then you got University of Central Florida. How about that? That's one of those you'll get a Cinderella team once in a while. Because I don't know, was it Western? What the heck was it? The Hilltoppers years ago,
Western Kentucky?
Yeah, where they were like in 13 or something like that.
I don't know about that.
Well, anyway, West Virginia, Penn State, Utah, Iowa, Texas, Mississippi State, Syracuse. There's a strange one. And then Texas A&M.
Syracuse is an ACC team, so
yeah, but,
that's still Power 5.
But I'm just saying, that's a strange one.
Yeah, that's odd.
And they have 2 losses, but Texas A&M has 3 losses, and they're in the top 20.
Well,
so
and I'm just saying, football's a little tough, at least tougher nut to crack. Where it's again for those mid-major conferences. Yeah, it's hard to get in the top 25, compete in those major bowls. And it's again, until Conference USA, the Mountain West, the MAC, if they want to establish themselves or at least say, hey, we have talented teams. Now, there are talented teams within those at least mid-majors that kind of drag along those conferences, whether it is a Louisville, whether it was, again, a Boise State. I can think of, maybe Northern Illinois when they were kind of successful, the Huskies in football. But there's little teams like that can try and drag and say, hey, we're part of this conference. We're doing okay, so don't drag us down. But, I mean, it's for Wyoming, for the Mountain West, it's a situation of until you beat these top-level teams,
ain't going to happen.
Which, it's kind of, hey, get back in line.
It's unfortunate.
Get back in line.
But
I'm just saying,
the real state of affairs.
The real question is, what do you do? How do we change this? Is it something that you say, hey, every school gets at least a 5-star recruit to make it an even playing field? I'm just saying, what do you do to change it, or do we just keep it the same, keep it as status quo, or how do we alter this to say, hey, Wyoming does have a shot this season, CSU does have a shot?
I'd like to.
Northern Illinois out of the MAC does, or Western Michigan does, or as UCF is kind of doing right now, competing. I mean, what do you do in order to give, for instance, Cowboy fans hope of saying, yeah, we could be a nationally ranked team. We have this 5-star, 4-star recruits on part of this team that are going to be playmakers to help us out. I don't know. Or do we keep it the same and just kind of deal with it of going, yeah, Wyoming has to rebuild, Boise State can reload every year. It's a gamble with the rest of the Mountain West. San Jose State continues to be terrible, and they have to just deal with it. I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's going to come to a point.
It's kind of where you force the hands. Like, for instance, with my former school of Idaho, they were so bad, they had to move down a division. They had to move down to FCS.
And I think if you are a Wyoming Cowboy fan, and again, will it happen in my lifetime? Don't know. I don't really know. But you're going to have the Power 5 with just 50 schools.
Yeah.
And they're going to get all the big boy bowls. And we are going to be in that second tier. Now, again, is it going to be FBS 1? And, I
don't know. Who knows?
FCS 1 and then FCS 2? I don't know. And then you're going to have the FBS? I don't know. Maybe we join in with the FBS. I have no idea.
Who knows?
But the thing is,
again, it's something that has been entertained, but it's not set, or at least there is no structure for it.
But again, you have all of these bigwigs that are behind closed doors, and they're not looking out for the little guy. Because again, it's television money. It's all about money.
It's all about money. Absolutely.
And again, Alabama's going to make piles of money, where Wyoming's going to make a couple of bucks. And
the circle of life continues on for college football and for those colleges where, yeah, guess what? You're going to have to deal with, hey, here's the scraps. Those big schools, they get it all. You got to deal with it. Yeah. You got to make the most of it, of what you can.
All right, we are getting close to the top of the hour. But before we take the
break,
before we take the break, why don't we get to the fishbowl awesomeness?
There you go.
I'm just looking here at the matchup predictor, where it says 84% feel that the Cowboys should win over San Jose State.
I don't think there's a line on that.
There is no spread at all.
Yeah,
there's no over-under at all in this thing.
Which is, I don't think for any San Jose State game there has been a line. Actually, I think there was a large line for Washington State, but for every other game they've had a straight pick 'em because this team barely can muster up a win.
Now, let's look real quick here the last 5 weeks, and then we'll get to the pick here of some tickets. San Jose State, their last 5 games, lost to UNLV 50-37. They won. They beat UNLV 50-37.
Yeah.
Lost to San Diego State 16-13.
Not bad.
Got clobbered by the Army 52-3, which the Army's just good. CSU beat them 42-30. And
still respectable score.
5 overtimes they lost to Hawaii 44-41.
Respectable, as Hawaii is very good.
Cowboys beat CSU last Friday 34-21. Lost to Utah State 24-16. Fresno 27-3. Lost at Hawaii 17-13. And lost to Boise State 34-14.
I think why it's a straight pick 'em is because these two teams are pretty much even. They're evenly matched up teams.
But the consensus, 84-16, Wyoming's going to win.
I think that's fair. Again, if even with how bad we've seen the Cowboys play, yeah, that Cowboys should beat this San Jose State team. But, again, I still have to pump the brakes and go, hey, they beat them last year in San Jose.
This is
says they couldn't do it
the
again.
power index that thinks that the Cowboys should win. But again, Vegas says, we're not going to put a spread on this thing. Not worth it.
Yeah, why? Who's putting money on this just toilet bowl of a game?
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to give away 2 tickets, right?
Yeah.
And
a pair of tickets
I'll
today.
let you take it away here.
So as we've been doing, or at least we're going to this week, as we gave away a pair yesterday, along with also the parking pass and goodies from our friends over at Chick-fil-A at the corner of Del Range and Windmill. Again, we are giving away tickets to go see the Spartans versus the Cowboys coming up this Saturday. I do believe a high noon kickoff. There at Laramie between these two. Thank you all who did join us, or at least enter on the Facebook side. We're liking, commenting, and sharing the post there on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Thank you to all. And again, all those entries do retain to tomorrow's giveaway, where we'll be giving away 2 pairs of tickets to go see the Spartans versus the Cowboys. So our winner for today will be R.C. Decker. R.C. Decker. So I will notify you on Facebook. I will give you a message and tell you how to come by and pick up your pair of tickets to go see the Spartans and Cowboys, and also to your goodies to go see our friends over at Chick-fil-A at the corner of Del Range and Windmill. Again, I will give you all those details and information on the Facebook side.
All right, noon kickoff coming up on Friday.
I was right.
All right, we'll look at some of the stats.
You said Friday, Saturday.
I'm Saturday, excuse me. We'll look at some of the stats with this upcoming game, and then we'll get ready for our coaches show. It will be the Cheyenne Stampede coaches show at the bottom of the hour. We are going to take a break, come back with hour number 2 after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16-month CD at an annual percentage yield of 2.33% and a 27-month CD at an APY of 2.74%. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Wyoming basketball fans, the season is almost here and season tickets are on sale now. Season tickets are the best deal for all fans, with prices starting at $130 for the Cowgirls and $220 for the Cowboys. Or check out the affordable Cowboy Seat Hopper mobile season ticket pass, where your seat changes each game. Don't miss any of the action in the AA this season. Get your season tickets today at GoWyo.com or call 307-766-7220.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 44. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 28 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 31.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today. This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome back again to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. It is hour number 2. Caught me reading a story there real quick. Hey, our program is always being brought to you by some wonderful folks, Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Mondello's Pizzeria. You can catch Joe and the gang over at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Tier Bank right across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Again, banking done the old-fashioned way with you. Customer service always number one at First Tier Bank, open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Heather and her great staff will take good care of you over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Same location, not their first rodeo, gang. They've been there and done it many times on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, 2 locations. The original on Vanda High, the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Platte Valley Bank times 2.
Like, I don't know why you're looking at me for that.
I just wanted just to make sure that, when I need money that I can borrow from you at Platte Valley Bank.
No.
Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where the 18s must go so the 19s can be in full force on the lot. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delray, serving up 3 squares Monday through Saturday. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service having their hail of a sale over on Highway 30. And it's Taco John's, especially for Halloween night, so you don't have to cook. Get that 6-pack at $1. One of the many goodies that are offered at Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we get things underway with our scoreboard. Of course, that is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick with the scoreboard that he has for us.
Well, I don't know why you had to elongate that. But anyways, though, LCCC Women's Volleyball in action coming up tonight. 7 o'clock over at Story Gym as they will take on Casper College. Again, 7 o'clock tip-off as it is the Region 9 Volleyball Tournament happening over at Story Gym. Also, to NHL action for tonight. It's a light one as it is one game at 8 o'clock on NHL Network. You will see the Vancouver Canucks at home at Rogers Arena hosting the Chicago Blackhawks. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight.
On the NBA hardwood, it will be the Nuggets and the Bulls tonight in the United Center in Chicago. Pistons and the Nets at the Barclays Center. Pacers and the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Also on the schedule for tonight, the Utah Jazz will visit the Minnesota Timberwolves. Excuse me here for a second. I get a splash. I've had a rough day today, trust me.
Don't even want to hear it.
Mm-hmm. If you heard me talk about it, it would be in a lot of bad language verbiage.
I was going to say, you would accrue more fines than anything.
Yes, I would. Pelicans and the Warriors tonight in the Oracle Arena. Mavericks and the Lakers at Staples Center, and the Spurs and the Suns tonight at the Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today, 1480 KRAE, 101.1 FM, and 1480KRAE.com. Thank you to our great IT guy, Lanny, getting us back on. Do we have somebody that's wanting to get through on Wyoming Sports Talk Today?
It looks like
Let's go to the phones. Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Doing good. How you doing, Ryan?
Good. I thought I'd chime in. It seemed like you were maybe seeing if you wanted some opinions, and I could give you some. I've listened to you guys a lot on the UW football topic this year, and honestly, I've found myself not always agreeing, but finding that you guys were probably closer to correct than I was. I find myself kind of wanting to remain fluid with winning expectations, but yet finding myself in an apologist form for the Pokes. I'd like to think that the last three are winnable. Obviously, they're not going to look past San Jose, but I'd love to see them get bowl eligible and find dignity and pride in that. And I have one of those guys that has zero problem with the idea of going to the New Mexico Bowl, say, this year. I know that sounds wacky, but I think it's very. I'm happy with the way Chambers looks. I'm happy the way the defense is coming along. It's almost like you're almost looking at two different teams from the first end of the season to where we're at now. But obviously the competitions, the next two are certainly winnable. New Mexico may be out of the race by the time we play, bowl eligibility specifically, and they may look at trying to knock us out of bowl eligibility as their big accomplishment for that time of the year. And I don't know. I would like to think that this team has lots to play for yet, but I can, like I said, I think a lot of the things you guys have been saying has been correct.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate that, absolutely.
All right, well, we'll make some comments on it and appreciate you giving us a call, Ryan. You take care.
You too, dude.
All righty. Well, and we were not here specifically. We were not here specifically to diss on the Cowboys. I think what we said throughout the course of the year is what we saw and what fans saw.
But I'm just saying, if anything, for the preseason as well, when, again, we saw that preseason rankings and Wyoming #2, that's why, again, not to boast or brag or anything about it, but it's like, this is a team you need to temper expectations on. That was me of just kind of saying, hey, Cowboy fans, you need to come back to reality about this team. Right. Yes, we have a great defense, but what is the offense going to do? Clearly, that has been answered. Again, that was the biggest mystery heading in of what is Tyler Vanderwall going to be like. We saw what the offense was last year with one Josh Allen, the guy who was a top 10 NFL draft pick.
Right.
He struggled with that offense last year under Brent Vegan, but it was essentially a situation of where what this season has been, in my opinion, is going to how I thought it would be. Is this team is going to struggle to get those victories, and it has. And it probably will coming up for the next three with San Jose State, with Air Force coming up, with also to New Mexico. They're going to struggle. You can't overlook San Jose State. Yes, they do have one win, but they, as you mentioned with their last five, they've been competitive in every single one except for minus Army, but in those Mountain West, at least contests, they've given every team a run for their money, and it's not just lower echelon teams.
And at San Diego State, they lose 16-13, and then again with Hawaii when they lost in the 5 overtimes. That was in San Jose. But you're right; they have been a competitive outfit. Here's the thing too, and again, you and me, and you're right, and I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Where I thought
you want to say that again?
Yeah, you're right. I'm wrong. I hung my hat on the defense this season, thinking that I knew. Hey, remember, I said the Cowboys weren't going to be a very prolific offensive scoring team.
No, they should. Yeah,
but also too, you, me, and the thousands of fans that have been at War Memorial Stadium have watched terrible calls from up top.
And it's getting to that again. Those thousands there at War Memorial are at least finally opening their eyes to that, and at least kind of being vocal about it. Where we do hear the boos, why are you not going for it, at least on a 4th down and 1 situation against a Utah State team that you have nothing to lose at this point for Wyoming? You were bottom of the barrel of the Mountain West. You had no Mountain West Conference wins. Why not go for it on 4th and 1? What do you have to lose? What is the benefit of punting the thing 7 times? It's a situation of, yes, the questionable play calling right now is starting to be in question by those fans, and they're making their voices heard of saying, hey, we don't like it. We're going to boo you out of the stadium.
And now here's the deal, too. See, a lot has been made against the offensive line. But you got a kid like Nico Evans who missed one game of injury. I think it was Missouri. He was out. I know I think he got banged up against, was it Washington State? And then missed Missouri.
Yeah.
So we're talking the kid has played in roughly 7.5 games this season. He's got 979 yards rushing. So what does that tell you? That the offensive line has been opening holes for him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And he's quick.
I think they're good on, again, as something that...
The north-south.
They're good north-south, but when it's QB contained, whether it was trying to at least alleviate pressure off of Tyler Vanderwall, we saw what happened. Again, the guy was sitting on his butt half the time there at War Memorial, and it's a situation where I think right now with Sean Chambers, yes, I think he fits... if this is going to be the offense, as awful as I think the play calling is, that pro style just garbage, I think it fits for Sean Chambers. I think it fits him the best of where, yes, he's not going to throw a whole lot, but that line that creates those, at least seams, those opening, he can take advantage of it. He can see those opens, or either, hey, Nico, you found it, go through A or B gap, you got it.
And again,
these fly sweeps, all this other stuff.
Lose the fly sweep. Criminy, Brent. You can't be that dumb. It hasn't done diddly all year, but yet you call it every game.
Yeah.
And again, too, same with the passing. We got to roll Vanderwall out all the time. Maybe the offensive line is not adept or, skilled at zone blocking. Maybe we might want to line Vanderwall, or, now with the new quarterback, you may want to line them over center and go a straight drop back and fire.
The key about all this with the Wyoming Cowboys is something I've been saying for week in and week out at this point in time, is we have the tools, we have the talent. Even when Tyler Vanderwall was out there, I thought the guy, he has the talent. And I still think he does. I still think he can develop into a phenomenal quarterback for the Wyoming Cowboys, absolutely. But I just think on that offensive side, they weren't utilized in a correct way. And I think that more falls on your offensive coordination, your offensive coordinator, Brent Vegan, of not calling the correct plays, or at least calling the incorrect, at least style that does not fit for a Tyler Vanderwall, where, again, the guy was running for his life. Same with Josh Allen, though. You'd figure after how many seasons of watching your quarterbacks run for their lives, where you do have some big hosses there on that line, you'd go, maybe something's not working here. Why is this an issue for us? Where, again, they're not skinny. They're sizing up to that defensive fronts for whatever team they're facing. So again, for the Cowboys, yes, the defense is phenomenal. They do get hurt right now, especially with what happened this past Friday with Gaffon. I think that hurts this defense a little bit. He was he was a big name. He was a big force, a part of that defense. I think that hurts him a little bit. But overall, I think this team, from offense to defense, we have the talent. But that offensive side is just it's utilized in a conservative way. It's utilized in a not correct way that complements to what Tyler Vanderwall could do. I think it does fit for Sean Chambers, though. Again, if they want to run, they want to run, they want to run. He's going to do it.
I'm going to agree with you to a certain degree, but what I'm seeing right now with the Wyoming Cowboys, aside from Josh Allen's junior year, his sophomore season, because last year was his junior year, I think
last year was a senior.
No, he was a junior. He was a graduating senior. But here's the deal. I think what we saw in that 8-6 year with the Cowboys was some phenomenal things done by Josh Allen. Hence, that's why his stock was so high going into the NFL draft. Last year was not a good year for Josh Allen. Luckily, he stayed atop a lot of boards because of pure athletic ability. But looking at this coaching staff, you have not brought me anything that's wowed me. 8-6. 8-5 with that bowl win last year. You're lucky this year to get to the Mendoza line. Now, the schedulers made it easy for you at the end, where you have a shot.
Even though they would disagree with you, because, again, as it's been put on stats all over the place to kind of alleviate fans of saying, no, the Cowboys have been playing actually the toughest schedule in the Mountain West, or at least even across FBS level.
Good for them. Yeah. Good for them. But the point is, you weren't competitive in the games that you needed to be competitive in. Boise State, Washington State, nope. Missouri, nope. You weren't competitive. So to me, you're right now you're going to be an average team in the Mountain West Conference. Now, like Ryan mentioned that he's happy to go to New Mexico Bowl. Yeah,
and I get it. I get it.
But also too is great.
But I'm just saying, at the point in time of where, as we're talking about, hey, getting these teams notoriety, getting them into that upper echelon, like, for instance, a Boise State, you can't settle for just terrible. For at least, again, when I look at the New Mexico Bowl,
bottom of the barrel bowl.
That's scraping where, hey, we have enough bowls. There you go. Just go compete. Who cares?
There's so many bowl games right now. And again, there's so many.
It's so watered down. Where again,
it's almost like if you have a college football team, you might be bowl eligible.
Yeah. Well, again, you even go back to years ago where even a sub 500 team of, I do believe, Nebraska made it to a bowl for whatever reason.
They made it because they're Nebraska.
Yeah. Well, you got the notoriety, and I understand that. But I mean, also too, there's got to be a point in time where, yes, as from a fan base, I get it. With the Wyoming Cowboys, you're not used to a whole lot of postseason action, a lot of bowl bursts, a lot of action like that. But also, too, to get over that hump, to get back into that consistency, we got to tell this coaching staff, we got to tell that AD and that whole department there of saying, we can't settle for sub-500 seasons. We can't settle for these little piddly bowls. No, we want to compete for the Las Vegas Bowl. We want to compete for Mountain West championships. We want to go to those New Year's Day.
You can't get there with this current staff.
No.
I'm sorry. And again, I'm not saying.
Again, at least I want to give update again with Craig Bowl as I do weekly. Craig Bowl, overall record in 5 seasons with the Wyoming Cowboys, 25-35.
And that sucks.
10 games under 500. He is 16-21 in Mountain West play.
And you know what that equates to? In 5 seasons, he's 5-7, average. That's under 500.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not going to get you a lot of big bowl games, Coach Bowl. And also, too, I with the move now to move Chambers in there, and again, it's new. It was new to Utah State.
Yeah.
CSU wasn't ready for it because they prepared for either quarterback.
I don't think they're prepared for anything at CSU. They're terrible.
But San Jose State, Air Force basically be looking at their own offense to a certain degree.
Absolutely,
to a certain degree.
It's pretty much a near clone.
And New Mexico runs pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
So, again, the newness is going to wear off.
Oh, absolutely.
But
because there's plenty of film now.
But will they win 3 games? Yeah, there's a possibility.
There's absolutely a possibility. Is there a possibility that they could lose all 3? Absolutely, too.
I mean, we felt that they weren't going to beat CSU, but then against CSU, it has not been, great shakes as well. But, that was a big win. That was a monumental win for the Cowboys. And that's something Coach Bowl can hang his hat on. He's beaten the Rams the last 3 years. Great. But you're still 10 games under 500. You're not wowing me. Your staff offensively does not wow me. The fans are booing you unmercifully right now at the War.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if you come out and pull the same garbage, and maybe Chambers is the be-all, cure-all, but if you come out and have those 3 and outs, I guarantee you will hear it once again.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think the fans are going to hold back coming up, especially if we struggle 3 and outs against San Jose State in Laramie. Oh, yeah. Fans, I encourage you, absolutely. Get loud and proud and let them hear you boo again if we have to punt against San Jose State. Are you kidding me? This is a game that Wyoming should, at least this offense, should break out. Granted, I said that against Wofford, but look what happened then.
Again, San Jose State's given up 460 yards a game.
Cowboys, that's a miracle if they can.
Yeah, they get 400 yards. That's going to be one of the best performances of the year. Again, points. San Jose State outscores Wyoming 25.
Well, yeah,
and the Cowboys just under 18.
Wyoming is dead last in the Mountain West.
Points allowed. San Jose State gives up a bunch, almost 38 points. Cowboys at 25.
Again, that goes with the stellar defense that we have.
Cowboys only allow 350 yards, so San Jose State should score.
Wyoming should score.
And the Cowboys should outscore San Jose State.
In
theory.
In theory, yeah.
This looks good. And with Sean Chambers, if he has any type of numbers that he did against the Rams, Yeah, I think the Cowboys could win this
As
thing,
we're on-
similar to CSU.
As we're on the topic, though, again, as San Jose State, absolutely. They beat them last year. They could do it again this year after what we're kind of looking at least what their schedule is. Again, they already have one win under their belt, and they beat at least UNLV last week. Who says that they can't carry that momentum into Laramie coming up, again, this Saturday at high noon there at the War? I'll play devil's advocate. I mean, what happens if San Jose State does win this game? I mean, what is that just the biggest black eye to the Wyoming Cowboys to get beat by the San Jose State team twice, back-to-back years? I mean, should there be repercussions if the Cowboys lose to San Jose State coming up this Saturday?
Basically, if the Cowboys were to lose to San Jose State, that kicks them out of the bowl eligibility race. Right.
Mm-hmm. So there's one negative. So you already lost. So two negatives. So losing to San Jose, you're out of bowl eligibility.
And Craig Bowl, in his 5 seasons, has not won a Mountain West Conference championship. He won the Mountain Division. 1 year.
That's 3 negatives so far. After again, if they were to lose this Saturday to San Jose, so that's 3 negatives so far that are piling up of what would be the repercussions after this.
The fans won't be showing up if you have 15,000 in attendance, and the fan base is going down, not because it's cold. People will show up for football.
Basically, with this exercise of just saying, here's 4, we can go on and on and on and fill probably the next half hour of what would be the negative repercussions for this team. But, I mean, it stacks up. And I figure that has to be enough for at least folks in those higher positions amongst that athletic department there at the University of Wyoming to take a serious look and go, is this the direction we want to go with this football program? Again, a guy who is 10 games under 500, does not have a winning record in the Mountain West Conference, has brought 1 bowl victory, 1 Mountain West championship loss. Hey, that's more than anyone else could say. Granted, the Mountain West championship format has only existed for a few years now, but would that be the breaking point?
I think for a lot of fans, yeah. I think absolutely.
And I think it should be.
This is your team.
I think it should be.
This is your team right now, people you brought in.
Yeah.
And the excuse...
And that being Craig Bull and...
Yeah, the excuse mobile is not going to fly anymore with me. And again, you stuck by your offensive coordinator who, gosh, did really well at North Dakota State.
At FCS.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah,
a division lower.
You moved the letter up, and your offense is not all that great. And you left a lot on the table.
Yeah, I'll let it say, again, they play in the FCC or the FCS for a reason. Wyoming plays in the FBS for a reason. They play against division lower opponents for a reason. We play at this division at higher opponents for a reason. Why do you think? And again, that's kind of my thing of, you think that's going to translate well into a higher level? I don't know. Clearly, so far, under 5 seasons, it hasn't. And I think with 2 of those years, you were very fortunate to have the special talent that we did of one Josh Allen. Without him, this team, I think it would be a lot worse than what we're seeing so far.
Yeah, and even when Cam Kaufman was there, he didn't do squat. And he spent half the time being injured. I mean, that's what we saw Nick Smith as a freshman.
Yeah.
I don't even want to get in this. Hey, real quick before we go to the break, because I know we got our Stampede Coaches Show coming up. They had their big celebration today in Boston for the Red Sox.
Raw.
Well, there was a thing that went on back in the day with the Patriots. The guys were throwing beer to, like Gronk and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some knucklehead today was throwing beer. Police have arrested a man accused of hitting someone with a can of beer thrown during the parade celebrating the World Series win. Police say 19-year-old Patrick Connolly. What's he doing with the beer can?
So there's already one fault right there, 19.
Unless beer, you can buy beer at 18 in Boston. Who knows? Anyway, Patrick Connolly of Sandwich was charged with disorderly conduct, you think, and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. They say it struck but didn't injure an unidentified man aboard one of the amphibious duck boats carrying the players and their families in today's parade.
Anyway.
Wow, let's be real intelligent when we go there. Let's throw
Who says anyone from Boston's intelligent? That was your first mistake.
Well, that's right.
Assuming that.
Never mind.
Anyways.
You're 1 in 1,024th right. That's a senator joke from Boston.
I guess.
Cool. All right, we're going.
That tells you how much I care about politics at this point in time.
You care bupkis about politics. We're going to take a time out. Should be time for our Wednesday coaches show from the Cheyenne Stampede.
They're out there.
Coach Breen will be joining us first here on 1480 KRAE.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
John Barrasso, fighting for all of Wyoming.
Wyoming is a land of spectacular beauty and great history. Teddy Roosevelt praised Wyoming's cowboy cavalry that helped form his Rough Riders. That cowboy courage and determination lives on today in our people.
John Barrasso is working to unleash Wyoming's potential, fighting to end the war on Wyoming's energy economy, honor and serve Wyoming veterans, confirm common sense judges who understand the Constitution, protect our farmers and ranchers from costly Washington rules and mandates. And John fought for and won tax cuts that help hardworking Wyoming families and businesses.
As a doctor, I help people get healthy again. Now as a senator, I fight to protect our state and make our country stronger. I'm John Barrasso. I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote to keep fighting for you and Wyoming's families.
Paid for by friends of John Barrasso, BarrassoForWyoming.com.
For 56 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM/FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
The 2018 Kia Stinger can be your dream vehicle come to life. I'm AJ Miller, and we have the impressive 2018 Kia Stinger here at Kia of Cheyenne. The Kia Stinger comes with choice of 2 turbocharged engines, giving the Stinger strong performance at a budget-friendly price. This car is tough to beat with numerous standard features and comparably priced lower than other vehicles in its class. You need to come to Kia of Cheyenne and drive the Stinger today. Call us at 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 44. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 28 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 31.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, as we have each Wednesday our Cheyenne Stampede show. One of these days we're going to say hell of a weekend for the Stampede, but again, a home series with Northern Colorado. And, you know, Coach, and we were talking off air, and again, we can hear it in your voice too. You know, it's like, you know,
there's a little frustration.
Yeah, it's like it's there, but it's still in the cocoon stage, if you get my drift.
I agree 100%. I mean, we're so close. And it doesn't show, like, you know, a couple of those games, like, you know, well, both games really, you know, 5-1, 6-1. It doesn't show, but, you know, if you pay attention to the first period and the second period and watch what we're doing, that's us. And then, we run out of gas, we lose a few guys due to injury, and a lot of that goes out the window. So I mean, we're very close, and we'll only continue to get closer. It's just a matter of everybody sticking to their details.
Now you say that now. You hear Nick and myself talk about the Wyoming Cowboys, and we kind of say, hey, this is getting to be old hat. To that fan that's at home or that was there in the stands, they're saying, Coach, this is getting to be old hat.
Yeah.
Again, we don't want to say the cavalry's on the way, but, what things are going to drive us back to watch this team get out of this funk?
Yeah, identity is I kind of let them. I've been letting them play a little bit from their own, let them have the freedom to kind of play their game and I don't know, let's call it express themselves as an athlete, if you will. And I pulled the reins tight on that this week, and we're getting back to the brass tacks and grassroots hockey. It's just straight lines, bodies, dropping the gloves, whatever you got to do to get the win, and that's what we're going to do.
Do want to go back to a topic that you mentioned, though, Coach, at least with we're 10 games into this season so far. As you mentioned, again, a few injuries throughout this series with the Northern Colorado Eagles. What is kind of health at this point in time for the team? Are we just kind of dealing with sicknesses? Are people starting to get a little achy out there? I mean, what is kind of the overall health of the team?
Yeah, I mean, you get a few guys that are getting sick now. It's that time of year, and then we're dealing with a few head injuries and from head contacts and things like that. And you can't really, this day and age, it isn't like back when I played, where if you can count how many fingers the trainer's holding,
you're out there
back in the game. You got to kind of be careful with those kind of things. So guys start showing signs of a concussion, you gotta let them sit out, and that's kind of the issue we ran into this last weekend. Is we were missing some high end guys, and it kind of hurts our depth, and that's we got guys cleared now. We should be a little better for this weekend, but we still got guys with a couple dingers and some guys with some we got some leg injuries, and we got some. Things like just basic things that happen in the game of hockey, but because we don't have all our pieces just yet, that kind of hurts us on our
And again,
depth
you can't play through it like they do in the National Hockey League, but the situation you brought up that was very very poignant there, and thanks for Nick to bring that up as well. What is there set rules set by the Western States Hockey League or the Junior Hockey League program in general? What is the protocol on concussions?
Yeah, across North America, it's pretty much the same. There's a concussion protocol. You have to sort of really you have to get assessed, and then then you're out for 3 days with with no activity at all, and then you ease back in for another 3 days, and then. And then you're cleared to at least get out there and see how you feel, and then from there you have to get cleared again to get back in action. So it's a process,
And we have a team doctor, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We have a team doctor. We have team everything. Really, we have a pretty good setup.
Team dentist, all that.
No, and again too. So he has to be the final say before anybody will get back on the ice.
Yeah. We got to get a doctor's note to have them released, and and that can be like an emergency medical professional or.
Now, do you have to alert the Western States Hockey League that, hey, and I'll just use Nick. Nick suffered a concussion in this game against Northern Colorado. We would like to have him back on. He's been cleared to play against Ogden. Do you have to go to the commissioner, so to speak, in the hockey league?
No, we do have to submit incident reports in case things go further with. If the injury gets to be serious, we do incident reports and things like that. But as far as getting a guy back into the lineup, it's unless there's something else extra, no, we don't have to do that. We just got to make sure that we're covering ourselves, liability wise and all that.
Gotcha. Now shifting focus away from at least kind of injuries and concussions, but do want to, for a small point, at least talk about again on a 10-game losing streak. 0-9-1 for the Cheyenne Stampede. It puts you there at the bottom of the Mountain Division of the Western States Hockey League.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do at this point in time as a head coach for you, Neil? I mean, what do you do to keep the minds, at least of your athletes on that ice? How do you keep their minds focused away from that number, from that record, and say, hey, Forget that. Let's focus positive round to get over that first hump, to get us that first victory for the Stampede.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I was saying before, we're, simplifying everything. I mean, today it's Halloween, so we had a little fun today. We had a 3-on-3 tournament. We took second place, and unfortunately, we should have won. Like, it was the coaches. I can't believe we lost.
Well, and going to
we're having fun.
Going to Nick's point, though, I would think, and I think that's a pretty good little drill that you could throw in there, Nick, was you shouldn't look at, they know they're not, they know that they haven't won a game, but I mean, really, they should go out to the ice on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they're 0-0. I mean, treat every game as the first game of the season.
Yeah, I mean, the key right now is to stay positive because, I know what they're capable of, and we're, as a staff, we're doing everything we can to add pieces, and on the coaching side of things, like, our systems are tight. I mean, we're playing the right game off the bench. We're just, we need to just simplify things. We need to not turn pucks over. We need to, and if you ask me, that takes the pressure off for everybody. Like, guys are putting pressure on themselves when they don't need to. And it was Barry Trotz that said the other day after a win over, I think they were playing the Islanders, and they asked him, how is it, how do you get games like that where they're tight games and things like that? And he said, well, the older guys, they just stick to the plan, and they make simple plays, and the production comes. The younger guys, however, keep the game tight because they're always looking at their stats, and they want to, they try to manufacture offense. And that's something that we're struggling with. I was like, bingo, that's exactly our issue is we're trying to manufacture offense. We're trying to skate into defenders and be fancy versus, skating to the outside and driving the net and, creating opportunities the right way. And that's really what we've harped on this week.
During games, though, when you do see a player kind of at least analyzing things and trying to do above and beyond, but it's not really, it's hurting more than it is helping that player. What's kind of the protocol for you? Is that something where you just kind of pull them aside, talk to them? Do you kind of relay it to Heath, or do you kind of, at least your kind of assistant coaches, or is it something that you rely on, for instance, Jeremy Velasquez or your captains among this team to kind of sit back? I mean, what is the protocol of when you see someone struggling like that on the ice?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a lot of expletives, and I can be pretty intense on the bench, especially with things like that. Like, I don't like turnovers, and I don't like what's the word I'm looking for? Insubordination. Like, if I'm giving you the simple recipe for creating what the offense, just stick to it. Stick to that plan, and good things will happen. And we have guys that are new to junior hockey, and that they're struggling with that a little bit, and it takes time. And so I get right in their grill and explain that, hey, that's the third time that you've done that. Have a seat, or if it's a guy that we can't afford to sit down, it's more it's just getting in their grill again and saying, look, you need to tighten up your game, man. Your way of playing is not working. We need to play the other way. And I know that sounds like pretty harsh or pretty aggressive, but I mean, at the next level, when you make mistakes like that, you're got a pink slip in your.
But the thing is, though, too, Coach, the game is still the same. Okay,
it
doesn't matter whether you come from little or minor league, pee wee hockey, whatever, and you move up to the next level.
Yeah.
But coaching philosophies at next levels are a little bit different, and
Sure.
and again, what you learn here are. In the younger leagues are the basics.
Yeah.
Then you're giving them, well, yeah, we want to refine those skills, but hey, here's the next level. And I think this goes along with a lot of sports, especially like high school kids moving to college. Basketball, for example, they're all great scorers, but don't really know how to play defense.
Yeah.
So you have to. It's almost like you have to re-instruct the young men how to play hockey.
Yeah, in junior hockey every year at the beginning of the year, it's a bit of a crapshoot. Like you kind of have that you've seen the guys play in the settings that they're in. You've vetted them in that sense, but once you never really know until you get the group together. And with this group we're still young and inexperienced. We're not as young as last year, but we're beating bad habits out of players. We're getting rid of the youth hockey habits and we're turning them into junior hockey players. And the guys that played for other teams, we're sort of getting them adjusted to the way we have to play.
Well, again, also too, you'd have to, I guess, not so much teach maturity, but you have to, lose those immature ways on the ice.
Yeah, and that's the key right there, Larry, is the immaturity. This is a man's game. At this level, you have to make that adjustment to, not letting the emotion of the game control you, and allowing, being patient and sticking to the plan. And if you don't play that way, these guys in this league, 19, 20 years old, they'll capitalize.
Well, I think it goes back to the point that you made, Coach, where, again, you didn't want to sound harsh of what you were kind of explaining there, of kind of sitting those players down, but I think it's a fair point that you're making of, hey, I'm the head coach for a reason. I'm teaching you how to play because you have experience. Again, we're talking Hall of Famer at Quinnipiac. You've been through the ranks. You've seen how to elevate your game into those higher levels. So it's for you, at least on this side, I understand of saying, hey, this is how we do, this is how we're going to do it because I say so, and it's just kind of translating that to them, and yeah.
And to take it further, it's not even, sometimes it is it's because I say so. Gosh darn it!
But it's not mutiny on the bounty. I mean, you're the captain, and this is the way I like the ship run.
And that's how any head coach is going to be. But for me, it's hey, look, if you don't cross this bridge now, in your career, if you do get to the next level, you're going to have a real hard time because, the tactics at the college level are so finite. You have to. It's such a fast game and it's such a cerebral game that if you're making these immature mistakes at the next level, then you're gonna struggle. It's gonna be a long road. And so I approach it more from that perspective is this is what you need to do to be successful at the next level. So let's just do it. And we're getting there. Some guys are starting to figure that out, and some of the guys, some are taking a little longer than expected, but we're getting there.
Well, at this point, we'll just sweep everything that's been, at least in the past for the Stampede.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it back there, but now let's focus coming up this weekend. On the road this time, you got a trip all the way out to Utah to take on the Utah Outliers, a 3-game series against them. They are 7-5-0, second team right now in the Mountain Division. Give us a little insider information on what to expect out of the Outliers.
Well, first thing, they need to be 60-minute men, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got to play hard 60 minutes, and they play a heavy game. They're heavy on their sticks. They're heavy with the shoulders.
What do you mean heavy?
Yeah, heavy means they play a hard-nosed, tough style of game. They keep it simple, straight lines. They finish their body checks. You know what I mean? That's a heavy game. And and they have big guys that are just heavy. It's that
the heavy, double entendre of heavy.
Yeah, heavy is just like the word forget about it.
They're thick.
In the movie, did you see that movie, Donnie Brasco?
He's more of a movie buff, I don't know.
No, that one I don't.
You have to watch that movie. It's very good. Anyway.
I'm the miracle guy.
Oh, okay, there you go. They play a game that, that I strive for our guys to play. And so we got to be ready. We have to come with our details in mind and be mentally and physically prepared for a war. And that's, if we go to war with them, we'll be very good. We'll be a good team against them. If we don't, it'll be a long weekend.
Well, it's early, at least for you. Again, best of luck coming up this weekend. Again, as you take on the Utah Outliers there in West Valley City in Utah. Again, Stampede and a 3-game series against those Outliers coming up this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Best of luck. And again, as you're saying, hey, you've been fighters throughout. Again, you might have lost 10 in a row, but they've been all very close. They've been all fights, as you've been saying. Again, we go back and we look at a few contests. You just got to get over this one small hump, and then you'll see victory on the other side.
Oh, yeah. And everybody in the room sees it, too. I mean, they see it. It's there. But, we just got to get everyone, 100% of the boys on board, and we got to move from being boys to men.
All right, we are going to take a timeout. We're going to come back with more of our Cheyenne Stampede Coaches Show after these words right here on 1480 KRAE. Due to our stormy season this summer, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service is offering you a hail of a deal on a wide variety of travel trailers, including toy haulers. Get up to an additional 50% off MSRP on Jolly Rogers' already low prices. Check out their new and used inventory. Damaged or not, you can still travel in style. Call Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service today, your exclusive Jayco dealer, at 634-8457. See them at 6102 U.S. Highway 30 or go to jollyrogersrv.com.
Cowboy football fans, the Pokes are back in action at War Memorial Stadium to continue Mountain West Conference play against the San Jose State Spartans on Saturday, November 3rd. Kickoff is set for high noon, so be sure to arrive early on game day for the Pepsi pregame zone and tailgating with family and friends. Support Cowboy football as they take on the Spartans. Get your tickets today at GoWyo.com or call 307-766-7220.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
For over 50 years, Capital Lumber Company has offered a full line of hardware and lumber selections. Plenty of materials, even for the do-it-yourselfer. So talk with one of the many experts today at Capital Lumber Company. Capital Lumber Company is the best in the region, and they are your true value hardware store. Lumber One in Cheyenne. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue. Cheyenne Regional Cancer Services now offers genetic risk assessment and counseling that may help determine your chance of being diagnosed with cancer. If you have a personal or family history of cancer, especially cancer diagnosed under age 50, you may benefit from a consultation to look out for your now and your family's future. For more information about our genetic risk cancer assessment and counseling service, please call 307-634-9311. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with your vehicle, and most of it is a minor problem. And John at Shine Auto Repair and Service knows the right way to get you back on track. So with temperatures heading south, now's the perfect time to winterize your car or truck. This can be done with a simple oil change, maybe a tune-up, checking the thermostat, brakes, and shocks. It's the little and important repairs that Cars has performed on all makes of vehicles now for over 25 years to keep you motoring along in any season. For an appointment, call 632-0498 or stop on by at 604 West Lincoln Way. Shine Auto Repair and Service, open Monday through Friday.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today, only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 44. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 28 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 49. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 31.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
As we get into our closing segment here of our Cheyenne Stampede Coaches Show, first off, again, thank you to Coach Neil Breen, who dropped on by. And when he comes on by, he brings us a player, and Trent Wells, Spokane, Washington's own Trent Wells. And again, welcome first off to Cheyenne. I guess Spokane, Washington, big. Cheyenne, a little more country for you, right?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, I'd say. Spokane's about 350,000 people, but when you're there, it kind of feels like a small town, which is kind of weird. Cheyenne's sort of the same way.
But, of course, in Spokane, like we talk to most guys, especially the ones that we've talked to out of Idaho, little more to do in Spokane than there are here in Cheyenne, right?
That's pretty fair. Yeah, there's a lot to do in Spokane.
I mean, you got Gonzaga up there. You got a few other things. I've been there. I love the city, but I get where you're coming at. Now, for you, at least, Trent, are you part of that kind of Coeur d'Alene crowd that we've kind of pulled from, or played out in the Coeur d'Alene ranks, or I mean, how do you know Coach Neil Breen?
So Breen was coaching me last year in Coeur d'Alene because Coeur d'Alene's about an hour away from where I live in Spokane. So I just drive out there, play every day. And so he was coaching there and then ended up leaving to come here. And I had so much faith in him, I just followed him.
So as you move your career on now here in the Western States Hockey League, first off, how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
So you still have a couple more. You have this season and next season still left to play.
Yeah.
Are you going to school right now?
I am not.
Okay, so basically high school. Is there college in the future sometime down the road?
Yeah, I'm hoping to play college either next year or the year afterwards. I don't know whether I'll be playing juniors next year or college. Kind of depends how that all pans out.
So things that you have seen with this team, and again, this is Coach Breen's team here in Cheyenne this year, as you were up in Coeur d'Alene last year. Tell us a little bit similarities and some differences that you see playing here in the Western States Hockey League.
Definitely much more production value during games. There's lights and stuff. There's actual fans that come and watch, which is always fun. It's not an experience I had before, and I love it. Kind of makes you feel important. But in terms of like the players-wise, the CSSHL, the Canadian Sports Tool Hockey League, which is where Coeur d'Alene was playing, had a lot of young, up-and-coming, really skilled guys. And the WSHL has a lot of big, strong guys that'll blow right past you if you're not careful. So in the CSSHL, I'm big enough where if a guy tried to go around me, a little 15-year-old skilled guy, I could just hold him off with one hand. I tried to do that last year against, I think, Sheberov, and it did not go well. He ended up walking right past me and scored. So it's a bit of a difference.
So a little bit of shock on the ice, seeing how competitive that this league is right now.
Yeah.
And there's not a weak group in the bunch.
Right. Everyone's strong. Everyone's big. Everyone plays hard for the pucks. It's different.
And again, it drives you to get that bigger, stronger, faster as well, too, coming up at least for the Western States Hockey League. But for you, Trent, goals for the season, what do you kind of, for you as a defenseman, what kind of goals do you have, aspirations for this season with the Cheyenne Stampede?
Well, I'm also the captain, so I want to get better at leadership in general because I think that's a really valuable skill in life and even after I quit playing hockey. But also, I just want to, I want to advance my game. Right now, I'm not getting very many points. I'd like to do that, but before I can do that, I need to start focusing and getting really, really good and perfecting my defensive game first because that's what ends up coming first.
You've been in the hockey game for quite a while. Like you said, you used to make the drive to Coeur d'Alene to play. Now you are away from home, and you are here in Cheyenne. Tell us a little bit about do you get that homesickness, or knowing that Coach Breen is here and some of the guys that you played with before kind of takes away some of that homesickness?
For sure. I think what does it for me, though, is the constant schedule and having things to do really helps me not kind of get in my own head about that kind of thing. I used to have really bad homesickness, but when I came here last year, I didn't have any. I'm not really sure what caused that. I think it's the rigorous schedule, though, how much we work.
For you, Trey, something that we ask every player, but as you talk about your kind of play style, is there anyone in the NHL you kind of try to mimic or at least try to at least emulate their play style? For instance, I'll look at San Jose with the Brent Burns of a defenseman, Eric Carlson as well too. I mean, is there anyone that you kind of look up as trying to copy the play style?
Yeah, I'd love to be. Ideally, I'd like to be like Drew Doughty or someone like that who really can grind but still can produce and things like that. So that's my end goal, is to be a player that fills that kind of role. But right now, I was coached by Brad Lukowicz, who was the captain of Dallas a few years ago, and I think right now I'm much more like him, where he didn't get very many points, but he was really solid in the back, and hopefully he was a good leader.
Favorite team?
The Tampa Bay Lightning, because there's Tyler Johnson is from Spokane, and he's the only player from Spokane currently playing in the NHL, and you kind of got to cheer for the home team.
So sorry, no Vegas Golden Knights yet, or Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, nothing like that. If anything, you got to be a fan though of the Spokane Chiefs. So I mean, right?
Yeah, of course,
absolutely.
I also love the Vegas Golden Knights, though. I think it was really exciting to watch them last year.
Oh, absolutely.
You made a comment, and before we let you go, and I know we're running short on time, you made a comment about fans showing up, and again, Coach and I were talking, just this past weekend, and we'll see the fan base grow once a lot of the high school activities are done and some of the collegiate activities. Mm-hmm. But you mentioned you like playing in front of a lot of fans. You like the pomp and circumstance that the Ice and Event Center does, or the Cheyenne Stampede does. Tell us a little bit. I guess when you have 300, 400, 500, 600 fans in the stands, does that kind of give you more of that adrenaline rush when you're on the ice?
Yeah, it's exciting, and then you end up making a big hit or something, and everyone cheers. It provides extra motivation, I think, which is you think you're going all out when it's an empty arena, but then you end up getting people cheering for you when you do something well. You end up doing a lot more things well, I think.
You hear that, Cheyenne? Go out, go support the Stampede. It helps them.
Yeah, these young men would love to get that adrenaline rush. Maybe you'll push them over the top for that win.
Hopefully. Last question for you, Trent, as we're getting close to the top of the hour. It is Halloween. You did come in dressed, but for folks who are watching on Periscope, YouTube, explain the costume that you got going on right now.
I am dressing as Matt Murdock, which is the alter ego to Daredevil, the Marvel superhero. Basically, he's a blind lawyer, so I'm just in a suit with red glasses on. The simplest thing I could possibly do, but I think it's pretty convincing.
So I like nerdy stuff like video games, but the Marvel and the comic books, they kind of went over my head. But
yeah, it went way over my head because I'm 110.
I thought he was just coming. I thought that. Honestly, I didn't even think that was like a Halloween costume. He was like, hey, he's ready for this interview.
He was applying for a job. I was ready to hire him on. All right, hey, we got to wrap things up here. We will be back again tomorrow with Wyoming Sports Talk. Today, it's Laramie County Community College Coaches Show Day, both men's and women's basketball. We'll talk first with Brian Ortmeyer, and then we'll have Jason Fick. And it's both coaches only. We won't be talking with any players in our initial get-go as we get ready for the upcoming season. So with that being said, we got coming up here this evening our Golden Age of Radio Theater.
We'll have 2 Sherlock Holmes programs, as that will be the normal kind of schedule throughout at least through those serial programs. So 2 of those, and then 2 of our normal suspense theaters.
All right, and that'll be coming up from 8 until 10.
So how about it on Halloween? You got mystery and a little suspense. So
we'll see if we got any good Halloween programs coming up here.
I don't know. Anyways,
all right. So we're gonna wrap things up here with on this date in history. I got to get home and divvy out some candy to the youngsters coming through the neighborhood. So real quick, tell me what we got going on in this date.
October 31st. We'll go back to the year 1988. This first ever Monday night game happened here.
First ever Monday night game.
It was it's pretty tough to at least guess.
Monday night. Yeah, I'm not even going to venture.
It involves a team down south, but it was in 1988.
The Broncos?
Well, they competed against this team. It was the first Monday night NFL game in Indianapolis, featuring the Colts, who defeated the Broncos 55-23 on this date back in 1988.
Wow.
It was kind of pushing on Halloween. There's not much going on.
They beat John Elway back in 1988. Yeah. How about that? I bet they were thrilled in Indianapolis.
Anyway.